3 3a plus 2b مثلا. ادي 3a شوفها يعني 9 21 6 and negative 3 plus 2b which is 8 negative 6 و10 and 12 and add the two matrices هنا 9 plus 8 is 17 وبعدين 15 21 plus negative 6 6 plus 10 is 16 and negative 3 plus 12 is 9. لو عندنا 4a minus b هيبقى equals كام؟ 4a which is third كام هنا ال a يعني 12 28 8 and negative 4 minus b 4 negative 3 5 and 6 and subtract them. 12 minus 4 is 8 21 يبقى 31 28 8 minus 5 is كام 3 negative 10. اوكي لو عايز هنا عندنا AB A times B كله ركز كده ادي ال A times B يعني 3 and 7 2 negative 1 times 4 and negative 3 5 and 6 equals 3 times 12 بنعمل row times الكولم first row times the column 3 times 4 is 12 تاني كده 3 times 4 is 12 7 times 5 is 35 وبعدين 3 times negative 3 is negative 9 7 times 6 is 42 okay 2 times 4 is 8 negative 5 times negative 1 times 5 is negative 5 2 times negative 3 is negative 6 negative 1 times negative 6 is negative 6 negative 1 times 6 is negative 6 and the final result will be 47 plus ديت كام 33 هنا 3 and negative 12 okay ده المultiplication that we studied before. بعد كده if A equals 3 and 5 negative 7 and 0 and B equals negative 2 negative 3 4 and 1 and we need to find B times 2A. It will be negative 2 negative 3 4 and 1 times 2A which is 6 and 10 negative 14 and 0. Okay, and the multiplication will be negative 2 times 6 is negative 12 plus 42 3 times 14 negative 2 times 10 is negative 20 plus 0 and the second row we can get it from the second row with first column and second column 4 times 6 is 24 1 times negative 40 دي 24 again 4 times 6 is 24 1 times negative 14 is negative 14 and 4 times 10 is 40 plus 1 times 0 is 0 then the matrix will be 54 negative 20 كده 10 and 40 okay next question about the inverse we already studied I which is identity element identity matrix which is 1 and 0 0 and 1 لو كان دي 2 by 2 2 by 2 ولو كان 3 by 3 فالI هتبقى 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 0 1 المين دياجونال يبقى 1 دي كده. اوكي، لو قلنا A equals 3 and 5 9 and 2, find A multiplied by I. It will be A. نجرب كده. 3 and 5 9 and 2 times 1 and 0 0 and 1. 3 times 1 3, 5 times 0 is 0. 3 times 0 is 0, 5 times 1 is 5. 9 times 1 is 9, 2 times 9 times 1 is 9, 2 times 0 is 0. But then 9 times 0 is 0, 2 times 1 is 2. It will be 3, 5, 9, 2 as this one. Okay. Okay. خدنا كمان في حاجة اسمها determinant of A، اللي هو كأنه absolute value كده of A. كانت تطلع كام هنا؟ 3 times 2 minus 5 times 9. 3 times 2 minus 5 times 9 يعني equal 6 minus 45 which is negative 39. okay. يعني إذا كان عندنا matrix B equals 7 و 3 و 0 و 2، يعني determinant of B هيبقى equal 7 times 2 14 minus 0 يعني it will be 14. The determinant is a value, is a number. Okay. To find the inverse of A, if A equals 4 and 3, negative 5 and 1, and we need to find the inverse of A power of negative 1. يبقى A power of negative 1 will be 1 over determinant of A, which is 4 times 1, 4. Our determinant of A equals 4 times 1 minus 3 times negative 5. Okay, يعني 4 plus 15 equals 19. Okay, مفهوم كده؟ يبقى 1 over 19 times the transpose of A. خدنا المدور بتاع ال A دي يعني ايه؟ يعني change 4 يعني replace 4 and 1، يعني نعمل swapping بينهم. يبقى هنا 1 and 4. وهنا change the signs of the other diagonal which is negative 3 and 5 again عشان اللي ما حضرش. again هنا 4 and 1 change أو swap them، يعني اعمل replace بيهم. وهنا signs of the other diagonal 3 تبقى negative 3 negative 5 تبقى 5. اوكي الكلام ده؟ طيب it will be ده دي كده تبقى كام يا شباب؟ يبقى كأنها 1 over 19 وهنا negative 3 over 19 وهنا 5 over 19 وهنا 4 over 19. يعني you have to be sure that A and A power of negative 1, if you multiply by themselves, you will get the identity which is 1 and 0, 0 and 1. ازاي قلنا اهو A is 4 and 3 negative 5 and 1. B equals الكلام ده، خلي 1 over 19 common تعدي زي دي كده، نكتبها 1 negative 3 5 and 4 تبقى 1 over 19 times 4 times 1 4 plus 3 times 5 15 وبعدين 4 times negative 3 negative 12 3 times 4 is 12 وبعدين negative 5 times 1 is negative 5 وبعدين 1 times 5 is positive 5 and the last one which is negative 3 times negative 5 equals 15. 1 times 4 is 4. يعني هتبقى دي كده اهو، اكملها هنا you will get the same value دي تبقى كام؟ 1 دي 4 plus 15 is 19 times 1 over 19 يبقى 19 over 19. هنا negative 12 plus 12 0 times 1 over 19 is 0. وهنا negative 5 plus 5 is 0 times 1 over 19 is 0. 50 دي 15 بلس 4 4 لأنها كانت فين هي؟ كانت نيجاتيف 1 تايمز نيجاتيف 3 نيجاتيف 5 تايمز نيجاتيف 3 15 1 تايمز 4 is 4 تبقى 15 بلس 4 19 تايمز 1 over 19 يبقى 19 over 19. You will get 19 over 19 1 0 0 and 1 the same identity. Okay, so if you multiply any matrix by its inverse, you will get the identity in the result. It's okay. I'll give you some examples to solve them now. If A equals 4 and negative 2 with 7 and 0, and B equals 1, negative 3, negative 5 and 2, find A 2A plus 5B. This is number 1. Number 2, 3B minus A. Number 3, A times B. Number 2, number 4, B times A. Number 5, find the inverse of A. And number 6, the inverse of B. Okay? We are going to solve 1, 3, and 5 now. Okay, I'll give you 2 minutes to solve them. 14, negative 16, 7, and negative 11. It's number 2. Number 3, a power of negative 1. To get a power of negative 1, you need to divide by determinant of a الأول. 4 times 0 minus يبقى positive 14. And you need to change this diagonal and the signs of the other diagonal. Okay, 2. Okay, it will be 0, negative 7 over 14, which is negative half. 2 over 14 is 1 over 7. 4 over 14 is 2 over 7. This is the inverse. Okay, what about B times A? B times A equals 1, negative 3, negative 5, 2 times 4, negative 2, 7, and 0. It will be 1 times 4, 4 minus 21. 1 times negative 2 is negative 2 plus 0. Negative 5 times negative 4, negative 20. 2 times 7, 2 times 7, 14. Negative times negative, it will be 10. 2 times 0 equals 0. مفهوم الكلام ده؟
تمام.
And define the result بقى يعني negative 17, negative 2, negative 6, and 10. Okay? To revise something about the A, some items من circles. Circle قلنا كان في inscribed central في angle of tangency يعني كان في ادي circle. خدنا في السيركل قلنا كان في some items هي inscribed ادي السنتر C مثلا او O will be AB. If you have a point like this one, C. If this angle is x degrees, then this angle is 2x degrees, and the measure of this arc is 2x degrees. And the measure of inscribed angle is half the length of the central angle subtended by the same arc. Okay? طيب كمان the measure of angle of tangency This angle is x, is half the opposite arc. Okay, and according to the chords, circle تانية. chord كان في angles also outside and inside. Okay, okay. This chord AB and this chord CD intersect inside the circle at a point تكون E. Then the angle formed by the this angle is not central, and this angle is also not inscribed. This angle is produced from intersection two chords inside the circle. So the measure of this angle is measure of AED equals half the sum of opposite arcs, half measure of arc AD plus measure of arc BC. Okay, the measure of the angle formed by the intersection of two sequences inside a circle or two chords inside a circle is half the measure of opposite arc. اما لو عايز الانجل دي هي measure او دي اي حاجه هي measure of angle DEB يبقى equals half the opposite arcs برضه بس ده opposite هنا ده opposite هنا. يعني دي كانت opposite arcs AD and CB half the sum of the measures of them. هنا الانجل دي يبقى half the opposite arcs half the sum of the measures of opposite arcs which is half DB and plus half AC. يعني half measure of arc DB plus measure of arc AC. Okay, if the angles, if the extension of the chords intersect outside the circle, and this chord and this chord. Okay, for example ده اسمه AB C D E. يبقى angle A هنا measure of angle A equals half the difference يعني half measure of arc CE minus measure of arc BD. Okay, يبقى if the chords intersects inside the circle, then the measure of the angle formed by the intersection of the chords inside circle equal half the sum of the opposite arcs. If the extension of the chords intersect outside the circle, then the angle formed by the intersection of the extension of these chords equal half the difference. يعني for example لو كان ده 40 وده 70 يبقى this angle will be half times 40 plus 70. Okay, half ده كله يعني equals 55. If this arc is 100 and this far arc is 42, then the measure of this angle will be half times the difference which is 100 minus 42 يعني equals 26. Okay يا شباب، يبقى again the relation of the angles inside the circle, the angle form inscribed and central and the angle of tangents. This angle is central angle, inscribed the angle, and this is the central angle, and this tangential angle or angle of tangency, and this is the measure of arc. The measure of central angle, the measure of central equal the measure of opposite arc, and the measure of the inscribed angle is half the opposite arc, and the measure of the angle of tangency equal the measure of inscribed angle subtended by the same arc, or equal half the measure of the central angle subtended by the same arc, or the measure of angle of tangency equals half the measure of opposite arc. It's okay. يعني for example, if this angle is arc is 80, then this angle is 80, and this angle is 40, and this angle is 40. Okay. What about the secants? Another circles. Chords intersect inside a circle. Okay. AB, AB, and AC, BC, CD, sorry, CD, and this point is E. And we need to find the length, E. If the chords intersect inside the circle, what is the relation between the parts of these chords? يبقى EA times EB equals EC times ED. وانا قلت قبل كده ان الانترسكشن بوينت دي 4 مرات. Okay? And if the extension of the chord intersect outside the circle, like this one, okay, extension, this is AB, C, D, E, هنا AB times AC equals AD times AE. يبقى برضه الانترسكشن بوينت is written 4 times 1, 2, 3, 4. Intersection point, we wrote it 4 times 1, 2, 3, 5. What about if one of these arcs is a tangent? If one of these arcs is a tangent, like this one, and this a tangent, and this a chord, tangent, and the other one tangent, and this is the chord. Okay, and this is A, B, C, D. So A is written 4 times also. It will be AB squared equals AC times AD. Okay, all these relations are very important. Okay, I'll give you lengths on them. One of this is 2 and 8 and 5 and x. Then 2 times 8 equals 5 times x. Then x equals 16 over 5, which is 3.2. Okay? If this one is 3, and this is 2, and this is x, then AB squared, which is x squared, equals 3 times 5. Where is 5? 5 is AD, because we need AC times AD. Don't write 3 times 2. Okay? انتوا معايا ولا مش معايا؟ يبقى 3
مع
times
حضرتك
5 is
مع حضرتك يا مستر.
then x equals square root of 15. If this side is 2, and this side is x, and this side is 3, and this is 4. So in this relation, you write 2 times 2 plus x equal 3 times 7. Okay? Then 4 plus 2x equals 21. Then 2x equals 17. Then x equals 8.5. It's okay. Do you have any question in this part? Any question?
لا يا مستر.
Okay. I'll send the homework today. Now after the session, inshallah.
مثل ممكن بس حضرتك نخلينا ناخد سكرين شوتس.
خد سكرين شوت. Okay. From the beginning. the first page. First, okay. Second, third, fourth, okay. Sorry, this is an empty one. And this is the last one.
Thank you, Mister.
Okay. طيب I'll give you the homework الجروب إن شاء الله. And yeah.